So last week we did a lot of shoulders. How did that land for everybody? How did you feel afterwards? Good? Okay. Sore, a little sore. Yeah. Yeah. So you could tell that you worked them a little, huh? Yeah. Well, we're going to do a little bit more with shoulders today as well, just to kind of get things opening up. And of course, we'll do some footwork. How many of you have been doing some footwork? Like everybody, yay. Good, 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 good. Super important, right? So, strong, flexible feet, important for balance, mobility, all kinds of things. So we'll continue to do that here. Okay, so come to a comfortable seated position, like right at the front edge of your chair, and have your feet underneath your knees. And then make sure you can feel both sitting bones nice and equal, right? So you're not leaning more into one side than the other, and you're not leaning forward, so you want to have your shoulders above your hips. And then relax your neck and your jaw. So we carry a lot of tension in the neck and jaw and the face. If you can just just let your head move a little bit, maybe side to side or forward and back. Okay. And then imagine your ears kind of right over your shoulders, right? So again, sometimes we sit like this with the head kind of tilted forward because the shoulders are rounded a little bit. So see if you can bring your ears kind of right over your shoulders. And then notice your breath. And you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And notice how the air is moving in and out. And ask yourself, is your breath fast or slow this morning? Is it shallow or deep? Do you feel the air moving more through one side of the nose than the other? And can you begin to deepen your breath so that as you inhale, you feel your body inflating like a balloon? And as you exhale, you feel your body deflating. We're just getting this movement of air in and out, this expansion and contraction of the body. This inflation and deflation like a balloon. And if you can, just lengthen the inhalations a little bit more. So one way to do that is when you come to the top of the inhalation, pause for a moment and then see if you can take in even more breath. So it's almost like you're overfilling your body. And when you get to the top of that inhalation, you can let the breath out. So again, just exploring how much more breath you can take in by pausing at the top of the inhalation and then taking in even more breath. Just a couple more times, breathing in, coming to the top of that inhalation, pausing, and then taking in even more breath before exhaling. And as you do, notice where you can feel more expansion in your body. So with that extra inhale, do you feel more expansive in the ribs, in the belly? Or are you closing down? Are you actually creating some tension in your body in order to try and get that breath in? Sometimes we try and so hard that we're actually closing things down. After your next inhalation, the second inhalation, in other words, that extra little breath in, after that, I'm going to ask you to hold your breath for just another beat. And when you exhale, exhale with a sigh. Now you can let your eyes open as you roll your shoulders forward, up, back, and around, and down. Good. And then roll the other way. And keep breathing. Good. And then letting the hands rest on the lap, the shoulders relax, keeping your torso facing forward, and that includes your shoulders and your chest. You're just going to turn your head, just your head and your neck to the right as far as you can. And then you're going to come back through the center and you're going to turn to the left as far as you can. So we're going to do this just a couple of times. So without moving your shoulders and your torso, we're just turning the head. Good. And the next time that you're over to the right, stay here and let your eyes turn all the way around in the eye sockets and see how far back your vision will go. So you've got your direct vision that you can see in front of your eyes, and then that sort of peripheral vision, that off to the side vision. So take a little snapshot of that and then turn your head back to center and then go over to the left. Same thing. So as you turn your head to the left, and it's just your head, not your shoulders, you're looking as far around as you can and just noticing what you can see in your direct vision and your peripheral vision. Notice what you feel in your neck and your shoulders and your head. And then come back to center. Good. So dropping the chin to the chest and then lifting up toward the ceiling, keeping the back of the neck nice and long even as you lift. So we're dropping down. It's like a nice big slow motion yes. A nice big slow motion yes. A couple more of these. Excellent. And the next time that you come through center, we're going to pause here for a moment and we're going to look up and to the right and then down and to the left. And again, this is just your head. So we're going up to the right and down to the left. Breathing in and breathing out. Doesn't matter when you inhale and exhale. Try and make your breaths nice and long. And then when you come back to center, we're just going to kind of pause here again for that reset, and then down to the right and up to the left. So it's like a diagonal movement with your head. Right? Keep breathing. Notice what you feel in your neck and your shoulders. And then coming back to center. Again, just sort of resetting again in that central position. We're going to turn to the right and turn to the left and keep breathing. When you come back to center, you're going to go up and down, and then up to the right and down to the left. Back to center, we'll go up to the left and down to the right. So we're going to continue that, right? So coming back to center, and we're going to turn right, come back to center, turn left, come back to center, looking up, extending the back of the neck as well as the front, and back through center, and chin comes to the chest. Back to center, we go up to the right, don't hold your breath, go down to the left, come back to center, go up to the left, and down to the right. And one more time all the way through. Keep the breath going, coming back to center. So we're pausing here for a moment, just reestablishing the breath, that we're not holding the breath, we're not breathing really quickly in that shallow breathing. And when you're ready, you can turn to the right and turn to the left. Good, and breathe and come back to center. Looking up, extending the front and the back of the neck, and then bringing the chin down. Coming back to center, we'll go up and to the right, and down to the left, back to center, up to the left, and down to the right, and back to center again. Good. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathing in, breathing out. Just see if you can notice all the movements. There's always like I think of it like an echo. After I've done a movement or I've done an exercise or something, there's always a little echo in the body afterwards. You can kind of feel that. You can sense it in some way. Taking a nice deep breath, let it out with a sigh. You can let your eyes open, and we're going to bring the right ear toward the right shoulder and the right shoulder away from the right ear. And then come back. And then the left ear to the left shoulder and the left shoulder away from the ear. And everybody back to center. So we're going to do that a couple of times. So right ear to right shoulder, drop that right shoulder down and back. Left ear to left shoulder, drop that left shoulder down and back. We'll do that one more time all the way through. So right ear to right shoulder, shoulder comes down and back. Left ear to left shoulder, drop that shoulder down and away and come back. Good. So try not to move your torso when we're doing this. It's really just about the shoulders and the neck. So we're trying to isolate the movement here in the upper part of the spine, which is your cervical spine, and a little bit of the thoracic spine. So now we're going to bring the right ear to the right shoulder, but instead of moving the shoulder away from the ear, we're going to move the shoulder toward the ear. So it's like that, right? It's the old telephone kind of move, right? And then that down. And then on the left, right? Okay. And then to the right. So breathe in and breathe out. And as you get there, give a little squeeze. So how about one more time on each side? So a little squeeze here and a little squeeze over on that side and then down. Good. Okay, so notice, did both shoulders want to do the same thing at the same time, or were you able to isolate, right? So sometimes it's hard to isolate one shoulder and the other shoulder. So let's try this. Let's take the right shoulder up and down, left shoulder up and down, right shoulder down. I tricked you, right? And release. And left shoulder down and release. So we'll do that again. So it's 4 different movements. Right shoulder up and down. Left shoulder up and down. Now we go down on the right. Good. And down on the left. Excellent. All right, we're going to combine that with the head movement now, okay? So we're going to do all 4 of those movements with the head as well. Don't hold your breath, right? So you're going to be tempted to hold your breath because the brain is going to be wondering what the heck we're doing here, and that's okay. So we're going to start real simple. We're going to take the right ear toward the right shoulder, move your right shoulder away from your ear, right? I'm going to not say right, I'm going to say correct because that's going to be confusing. And then come back to center. Left ear toward left shoulder down and away. And back to center. Excellent. Right ear to right shoulder and right shoulder to right ear. And down. Left ear to left shoulder and left shoulder to left ear. And down. And we'll go again. Right ear to shoulder and shoulder down. And up. And left ear to left shoulder down. And up. Right ear and shoulder together. And down. Left ear and shoulder together. And down, and one more time all the way through. So to the right, and that shoulder drops, and up, and to the left, and that shoulder drops, and up, and now the ear and shoulder on right together, and ear and shoulder on left together, and down. Good. Let's roll those shoulders a little bit. So we got a little bit more range there in that up and down kind of series. So let's take the right arm and hang it off your chair. So you got the hand just kind of dangling down. Take your left hand and just kind of push down a little on the top of the shoulder, right? So just kind of find a spot where it doesn't hurt. So if you're out here and that's a little painful, come up a little closer to your neck. Just kind of give it a little push down, so a little bit of weight on that hand. And then you're going to bring your left ear over to your left shoulder. So you should feel an increase in the stretch here in your neck. It might be here in the front, it might be on the side, it might be up by your head. So wherever it is. And then you're going to bring your head back, but keep pushing down on that shoulder. And then we're going to come all the way back. Good. Come back to center and see if you can bring your right ear toward your right shoulder. Keep pushing the shoulder down. And then we're going to go all the way over to the left with that ear. Good. So it's like a big, it's like a big windshield wiper here with your head, right? But you keep pushing that shoulder down. Good. How about one more time? So keep pushing that shoulder down. Excellent. And then coming back to center, release that hand. Let the other arm hang down. So both arms are hanging down now. So notice if your right shoulder feels a little lower than your left shoulder. Maybe the right side of your neck feels a little longer than the left side of your neck. So we're going to take the right hand now, put it on that left shoulder, and again, just kind of pull it down a little bit. It's okay if it pulls forward too, just as long as you're kind of giving it a little pressure down. And then we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and come back. And right ear to right shoulder. Good. So we're warming it up a little bit and come back. And now we'll do that whole windshield wiper thing where we go all the way to the right and all the way to the left and back and forth. Breathing in, breathing out. And one more time. Good. And then back to center. Release that arm. Let the arms hang down. Close your eyes for a moment. And notice, hopefully, your shoulders both feel a little bit lower. And your neck maybe feels a little longer on both sides, kind of equally. And let's roll those shoulders one more time. Up and around and down and behind. All right, let's take the arms and we're going to press forward. So it's like you're pushing something forward, and as you push forward, I want you to round the upper back. So you can see like your shoulder blades up here come off your back. So this would be just putting your arms out in front, and then that's really rounding. And then we're going to make like a little fist and pull back and squeeze your shoulder blades together, right? So we're pushing forward and rounding that upper back. And then we're pulling back and we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. So breathing in and breathing out. Doesn't matter when you inhale, when you exhale. I'll turn this way so you can see over there. Doesn't matter, whatever feels good for you. For me, when I pull back, it feels more natural to inhale. And when I push forward, it feels more natural to exhale, but that may not be the same for you. So try not to create too much tension in your neck while you're doing this. If your teeth are clenched, give them a little space. All right. Breathe in, breathe out. Push, and when you get to the end, so when you pull back, give it an extra squeeze. And when you push forward, give it an extra push, right? So a couple more. We're trying to get some movement into a part of the spine that doesn't get a whole lot of movement in general, right? So your thoracic spine, that's the part of your spine where your ribs click in, right? How about one more time pulling back, and we're going to hold back here. Hold back here, right? Breathe. Relax your jaw, especially if you're doing this with your head. Relax your neck and jaw. We're going to keep squeezing those shoulder blades together and then extend the arms out and back, right? So you can go out a little bit because I know we all got the back of the chair kind of in the way, right? So try not to lean forward with your body like this. You want to keep the body upright. We're still squeezing those shoulder blades. This should be hard, right? Is it? Good. Okay. So the next time you have your arms extended, we're going to hold here and extend your fingers. And imagine you could clap your hands behind your back. Ooh, so you're squeezing your shoulder blades and you're clapping your hands, right? Keep breathing. You're clapping your hands because you're happy, right? Yay, we love doing this. Okay, and then come forward and bring your palms together. And now as you bring your palms together, round through that upper back, right? So this would be just bringing the palms together. This is rounding through that upper back. So like you're trying to touch the person in front of you without leaning your body forward, right? So you're trying to touch the person in front of you. Keep your palms together, and then you're going to bring your elbows out to the sides, push your palms together, and come back as far as you can without letting the heels of your hands come away, right? So that's the heels of the hands away. We want to keep them together. So we're pushing forward, push, 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 push your hands together, keep breathing, and pull back. Elbows come out to the sides. Now you might not come back too far, and that's okay, right? So maybe you come back this far, and then your palms want to come apart. Just come as far as you can. So we're just going forward and back, and you're pushing into your hands. Don't bring your shoulders up to your ears. So if you're trying to push into your hands by doing this, relax those shoulders away from the ears. Good. How we doing? Strong arms today, right? Nice and strong. How about one more time? Forward and in, and we're going to hold right here, right? Keep pushing the palms together. Push, push, push. Okay, now relax the pushing. Relax your arms, so you're keeping your hands like in a little bit of a prayer shape, right? So the fingers are up toward the ceiling. Relax your jaw. Take a breath. Okay, so now we're going to use the right hand to push a little on the left, as if you could touch your left fingernails onto your forearm, right? So we're just pushing as far as we can. Now, some of us have a lot of mobility in the wrist, so we can get really far over. Some of us don't have a lot of mobility in the wrist, and that's okay. And then we're going to go the other way. So see if you can do this with just the wrists, right? Instead of the elbows, right? So if you're doing this with your elbows, keep the elbows down and see if you can do just the wrists. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to look at your hands and notice if you have more range. In other words, if you can move in one direction better than the other, right? So watch those elbows. Don't let the elbows move up and down. It's just the wrists. Okay, and then come back to center. How many of you noticed that you had more range going one way than the other? Yeah, pretty common for a lot of us. So here we are, right? We're back in this little position here. Now we're going to use the shoulders and the elbows a little bit. So we're going to go to the right, and we're going to lift that left elbow up without scrunching the shoulder up to the ear, right? So bring that back down. Let's see if we can lift the elbow but not the shoulder. So come up as far as you can, and as soon as you get to a point where you feel the shoulder coming up, you've gone too far. All right, so we're going to try that a couple of times. This is to isolate the movement and to create a little more independence in your shoulder. Your shoulder is a very complex joint. There's lots of different movements, but what we tend to do, if you want to relax your hands, you can for a minute. I just want to kind of talk about this. So in all movement in our body, we do this. If there's a part of the body that is a little limited or in what it can do, we recruit other parts of the body to make that whole body movement for us. In other words, if I need to look over here and I don't have that range in my turning in my neck, right? I need to look like at that fan back behind me, and that's as far as my neck goes. What do? I turn my body, right? I can do the movement, but I'm not getting as full a range in my neck as I possibly could, right? If I worked more to isolate it. If I continue to do this all the time, I never challenge what's possible. So same thing here. What often happens when I go to lift my arm, instead of using the muscles here in the outer part of the arm to lift out to the side, I do this. Anybody recognize that movement in yourself? Yeah, because, there's something in my shoulder that's like a little bit off. It's not actually able to lift my arm way up this high. So what I'm suggesting is let's find out where that limit is, and don't go beyond that. Just work within that range. And this is a good way to kind of try that. So just with a light, you don't have to push too hard into your hands. It's just to keep the heels of the hands together. That's what isolates the arm a little bit more. So we're just going to lift that elbow up until you feel the shoulder start to come up, right? So I see shoulders like that. Bring those shoulders down. I'm talking to you, Pat. So we're going up as high as we can, right? And then we'll go the other side. So same thing, right? So notice. Oh, what side do you have the most range on, right? Can you see the difference? You feel a difference? You might look at your hands. So the angle of your fingers will tell you, oh, so when I go to this side, my fingers are at, say, 2 o'clock. And when I go to this side, my fingers are at like 11 o'clock. So that's not quite as even. Okay, now let's get that whole shoulder involved, right? So go all the way up and even tilt your body. Can you get your hands completely on that horizontal line? And then we'll go the other way. So breathe in, breathe out. Now go slow, right? So get that elbow up, and as you do, where are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your shoulder? In your neck? Can you feel it down here in the side of your body? That's where I really want you to feel. In your back? Yep, exactly. Some people might be feeling it into the hip. You might be saying, why am I feeling this way in the top of my hip? Okay, couple more. So again, we're just exploring kind of a little bit of maybe a different range, right? Especially if you've not done this before. And then bring that down. Okay, let your hands rest on your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. Just kind of take a moment and feel what's happening in your shoulders, what's happening in your neck, what's happening in your hands, your arms, your elbows, your wrists. Nice breath in, let it out with a sigh. And then we're going to circle the wrists around a little bit. Circling those wrists and reverse direction of your wrist circles. Okay, and then we're going to do just some bend and extend with the elbows. So keep your elbows in nice and close to your body, and your palms are facing forward, and you're just going up and down, right? Nice and easy. And then let's have one arm extended and one arm up, and we're just going to go back and forth, right? So here we go. Nice, easy movements. Nice and easy. Okay, and then both hands on the shoulders, and we're going to bring the elbows out to the sides a little bit, right? So you get your hands kind of up here if you can. Elbows are out to the sides, tucked in as close to your body as you can, and then see if you can go out and in, right? So keep those, if you think about your shoulder blades coming together in the back of your body, so here we are when we're forward, and now here we are. We've got those elbows kind of back a little bit. Relax your neck, and if you're coming forward like this with your body, relax your spine a little bit here, keeping the neck nice and loose. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. And then the next time you touch your shoulders, we're going to lift the elbows out to the sides. Now notice, did your shoulders come up by your ears? Drop everything down. Okay, lift your arms, but not your shoulders. You can feel that, right? You can feel that spot. So come down again. So if you get to a point where the shoulders start to lift, I want you to stay a little bit below that. So for each of us, it's going to be different, and it may be different from side to side, right? So maybe I can get this arm up this high, but that arm only goes up that high. So I'm feeling my own shoulders, and I'm saying this is how high I can go. So let's explore that a little bit. Just kind of coming up and coming down. Okay. And then the next time you get your elbows up, we're going to hold here, and we're going to go out and in. So when you go out, spread your fingers wide, extend through the arms as if you could stretch the bones of your arms. Imagine your bones getting longer. And then keeping those long bones, we're going to come back and touch the shoulders. So we're just breathing in and breathing out. So we're getting really expansive here, right? Good. Keep breathing. Now, if you're starting to feel this in your shoulder tops, like right up here, drop your arms down a little bit. That just means your arms, it means that you're using your shoulder tops to do a lot of the work that I want your arms to do. And just to make it more fun, the next time you have your hands on your shoulders, we're going to extend just the right arm and reach, and then we'll go to the other side. So we're just doing sort of that opposite, right? So when you reach out, I want you to really stretch. You're trying to grow your bones, right? You're trying to get the bones longer. Good. How about one more time each side? Are you able to breathe okay? Good. Okay. And then both hands on the shoulders. Good. We're not done yet. Let's go up overhead. So it's the same thing. When you go up overhead, I want you to reach as high as you can. Now, if this is as high as you go, that's okay. I just want you to reach as high as you can and then come back to your shoulders. So we're trying to get a stretch through the whole upper part of the body, right? So the ribs, the chest, the underarms. You know, we don't think about stretching our armpits, but there are muscles from your back, from your chest, and from the side that can restrict your breathing. And it all happens to coincide right in this area. So if we never stretch those underarms, those armpits, we're not accessing what we need to. So let's try one more time. And the next time you go up, I want you to stay up as high as you can. Reach, 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 reach. Reach a little more. And then all the way down. Let your hands float back down to your lap. Close your eyes. Whew, take a breath. Feel your shoulders and your arms. So I told you we'd be doing more shoulder work today, and I wasn't kidding. So notice what you feel here. As you inhale and exhale, is it the same between the right and the left? Is it different from the, say, the front of your body, the chest, or the upper back? Do you feel it in your neck? Do you feel it in your hands and your wrists? Take in a breath and let it out with a sigh. All right, we're going to take the arms up into a W position. So see, there's kind of a W position here. So some of you remember Y. Do you remember Y? So we're going to spell Y. So W, H, Y, right? W. And when you do this, I want you to really reach and extend into these letters, right? So W, H, Y. Let's do this a couple more times, right? So W, like inhabit your W, right? Live in your H, right? And be your Y. Here we go. I can't think of any other words. There. How about one more time? So we got the Y. And then we're going to finish here with the W. Go from a W up to like a cactus. You know the saguaro cactuses that come out and up? So we're going to do that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to roll the arms forward and back, right? So again, if you're down here, that's fine. If you're down here, that's fine. We're trying to get some rotation up here into that part of the shoulder. So your upper arm bone. Anybody remember what the upper arm bone is called? The humerus. The humerus, because it's funny. It's funny. So the humerus is rotating in that shoulder joint right now, right? So we're just doing this little movement. Okay, how about one more time? And we're going to kind of hang down, right? So hang down, like kind of like a scarecrow, right? Drop your shoulders down, relax your jaw, let your head be relaxed, right? So if your neck is like really tight, let your neck go. And now what we're going to do here from this scarecrow position, we're going to extend the arms out and back and out and back. So your palms should be facing the back of the room. Your arms should feel like they are on fire. Yeah? And they weigh about 20 pounds each. Yep. Good, good. We're there. We're almost done, you guys. Almost done. How about one more time? We're going to go out and we're going to hold and breathe. I know, right? Who thought of this? Wow. Okay, how about one more breath? And slowly let your arms float down and let them hang down by your sides. Oh. And when they hang down, close your eyes. And just be in the feeling of your arms and shoulders right now. So as you breathe and notice, you'll notice that the sensations change, right? So over time, when you first released, maybe there was like this really intense sensation in the shoulders and the upper back, the neck, the arms. And as you breathe a little bit more, the weight of your arms just kind of hanging down, you can feel that tension releasing. Take one more breath in and out. Let your eyes open, and now let's stretch out all those muscles we just worked really hard. So take your right arm across your body, give it a little bit of a pull, just a little pull. If you want, you can turn to the right a little bit here. So we're just really kind of stretching the arm. And then come back to center. Let's take that left arm, same thing. We're going to just bring it across the body, just giving a nice stretch there. And coming back. And now let's take both arms behind the back and see if you can grab hold of your hands or your wrists or your forearms, right? So we're just, if you start with your hands, right, you come back here, you start with your hands, and then maybe you can grab your wrists, maybe you can get up to the forearms. So you don't want to be efforting a lot with this. This is just a place where maybe you can relax a little. So can everybody feel their arms kind of resting in the small of their back, right? That little arch thing back there? Okay. So with your arms here, relax your neck and your jaw, right? And now what we're going to do is we're going to lean into the arms a little bit, right? And then come back to neutral. So this is what it looks like. So here we are. I'm not trying to thrust my chest forward or bring my shoulder blades together. I'm just kind of leaning into the back of into the support of the arms on the low back. Does that make sense? Can you feel that? It's relaxing and there's effort at the same time, if that makes some sense, right? So we're just leaning back a little bit and then coming forward. Okay, so the next time you come forward, take a note which hand, arm, is on the top and which hand and arm is on the bottom. And I'm going to have you switch it, right? So back there, this is how I am. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do that. Now that feels a little strange. It feels like I'm got an extra limb back there. There's like something extra. And then same thing, I'm just going to kind of lean back into the support of the arms there. You can feel a little opening in the chest, a little opening in the shoulders. You don't want to let your head come up and kind of challenge your neck muscles here. So it's just a little lean back and then relaxing. And lean back and relax. And just a couple more times doing this. Good. And how about one more time? Excellent. All right, let's take the arms around to the front and we're going to give ourselves a hug. Okay, so look down and notice which arm automatically went on top and which arm went on the bottom. That feels comfortable, right? All right, let's undo that and go the other way. That may be a little less comfortable. Yeah, a little strange, right? So let's go back to the first way, right? And in this first way, now crawl your fingers back there as if you could grab the inside of your shoulder blade on the right and the inside of your shoulder blade on the left. Now you can see I'm nowhere near my shoulder blade, right? I'm right out here, which is fine, but I'm going in that direction. And breathe. And as you're breathing, you're going to feel restriction here in the front, but can you send all your breath into the back where it's open? So if it's comfortable to close your eyes, you might do that. You might feel that it's easier to kind of sense the breath with your eyes closed. I sometimes call it like my internal vision. It's like I can see inside my own body. And then relax your arms. We're going to open the eyes, cross the other way. So this is kind of the weird way, right? This is the strange way. And we're just going to walk the hands back as if you could grab your shoulder blades back there and then relax your neck and your jaw. And breathe into that upper back. And as you're breathing into the upper back, can you relax your shoulders a little? Can you relax your jaw a little? And then undo that. Let your arms rest on your lap. Let's roll those shoulders a couple more times. Good. All right. So with your feet directly under your knees and your sitting bones anchored to your chair and your spine nice and tall, I'm going to ask you to turn your head to the right, but just your head. So you're turning on your neck. Turn your head to the right as far as it'll go. Notice what you can see. Compare that to the vision you had the very first time I asked you to do that this morning. And notice if you have a little more range. And then come back to center. And we'll do the same thing to the left. So again, going as far as you can with just your neck and your head. Notice if you have a little bit more range, or maybe you have a lot more range. And then come back to center. So how many noticed improvement on at least one side? Yeah. So for most of us, we're going to see some improvement on one side. If we've got an issue on one side, it may take a little bit longer. So part of what gets you there is when we do these movements, when we do these exercises, like the pushing forward, is to get to your end range and really give it an extra little push. Really give it an extra little squeeze. So that what that does is it opens up the possibility of more movement throughout that whole cycle, right? So, and that's what this class is all about. And this class is all about moving parts that we don't normally move, right? It's like finding where we have limitations and then exploring that and trying to bring that into our overall movement. Okay, let's have a look at our feet this morning, shall we? So looking down at those feet. How are they doing this morning, guys? Whose feet are cold this morning? Nobody? Oh, a few people have cold feet. Okay, yeah, because it's a little chilly. The floor's a little chilly, right? And it was a little chilly out this morning. So can you lift all your toes and keep your tripods on the floor? And then lower your toes down. So we're just lifting and lowering the toes. That's all we're doing. Lift and lower. Notice how they're lifting and lowering. Is it fairly easy? Is it kind of challenging? Do you do this a lot, right? So some of you have been coming a long time. Some of you have been doing this with me a long, long time. So hopefully it's a little easier after 20 years. Next time you lift everything up, let's hold there. And then we're going to press just the big toes down and lift. So we're just pressing and lifting the big toes. And all the little toes are staying lifted. Your heels stay on the floor, right? So don't lift your heels up. Don't lift the balls of your feet up. We're just doing this little movement with the toes. And it might be very slight, right? It might be very slight, especially if you haven't been doing this for a while, or if you have a bunion or a big toe that kind of crosses over the others. That can make this a little bit challenging, but it can still be done to some degree. Unless you have like a rigid big toe, they call it hallux rigidus, where there is no movement here. And some people do have that, but for most of us, we have a restriction, not a real rigidity, but we have a restriction there. So we can still move even if it's just a little bit. Okay, next time you get the big toe lifted, hold all the toes up, and then press all the little ones, but not the big one. So just the littles go down and up, and the big ones stay up. Breathe in, breathe out. How we doing? Easier? Yeah? Harder? Easier. Anybody think this is harder? Yeah, some people do, right? Yeah, because it's not the same for each of us. Okay, relax your toes, relax your feet. Whew, take a breather. Notice you got a little more sensation there, right? If you have cold feet, and we're getting into that season now where the feet can get a little bit more chilly. More movement in your toes and in your feet is going to increase circulation. Increased circulation helps with balance. Increased circulation helps if you have some neuropathy. It's going to help with that. It isn't going to cure it, but it's going to help with that. Okay, so lift up all your toes. Right foot, we're going to press just the big toe down. Left foot, we're going to press just the little toes down. You got that? Oh, yeah. Okay, relax everything for a moment. I saw a lot of people doing this. I don't know. All right. Keep your tripods on the floor, right? So heel, big toe joint, little toe joint. Super important. Keep the tripods on the floor. Lift up all the toes. Okay. Big toe on the right. So right big toe down. And lift. Left big toe down. And lift. That in itself is hard, right? Just isolating one toe. Let's try that again. Right big toe down. And lift. And left big toe down. And lift. And let's just go back and forth like that a few times. So we're starting to create or strengthen that connection between the foot and the brain that says, oh, the right toe is down, but the left big toe is up. And the left big toe is down, and the right big toe is up. And the brain is saying, okay, I'm getting this now. I see what you're doing. I don't know why, but I see what you're doing. All right. And then we got all the toes up at some point, yeah? Okay, so now keeping the big toes lifted, all the right little toes down and up, all the left little toes down and up. So again, same thing. So go right to left, and it's just all the littles on the right, all the littles on the left, and they're doing the opposite from each other. Okay? They're doing the opposite. And again, this can be very challenging, just doing right foot, left foot, doing something different. Having fun out there, eh? Awesome. All right, we got that? Okay, relax your feet. Okay. Whew. Is your brain like buzzing? Right? I know. All right, let's do the hard way now. Okay. So tripods on the floor, all the toes up. Right big toe down, left littles down. So now you should have your right littles up and your left big up. Is that correct? All right. Let's switch that. So raise everybody up again. So now we got right littles down, left big down. So now you should have your right big up and your left littles up. Yeah? Okay. Let's lift everybody up. Easy peasy, floor. Easy peasy, right? So we're going to press the right big down, left littles down. Lift everybody up. Right littles down, left big down. Everybody up. Right big down, left littles down. Everybody up. Right littles down, left big down. Everybody up. One more time. How about that? Right big down, left littles down. Everybody up. Right littles down, left big down. Everybody up. Everybody down. Take a breath. Wow. That is hard to do. That is very hard to do. Let's tap the feet a little bit. So this is giving them a little massage, right? This is their cookie for after doing the exercise. All right. Let's take that right leg extended out. We'll point and flex the foot. So we'll get all the tension off the toes for a minute. Wow. Bring that foot down to the floor. Go the other side. Excellent. Good, good, good. Okay, and then bring that foot in. And right foot, let's come up into a Barbie foot. You all know what that is now, right? It's like you're standing on a 6-inch stiletto heel. John, I'm talking to you. And then we'll switch sides. We'll go the other side, right? So you can relax the right and come up on the toes. So that should feel like quite a stretch in the bottoms of your toes, right? The bottom of your foot. Now, some people are going to feel it more in the toes. Some people are going to feel it like right through there. So if you're feeling it in the toes, we're stretching those toe flexors a little bit. If you're feeling it here, it's quite likely you're stretching the fascia. So the fascia on the bottoms of your feet can get very tight. It can get thick. It can get fibrous-y. You can develop something called plantar fasciitis. Who's had that before? A number of us. Yeah, right. It is no fun. So this is a good way to work to prevent that. Let's go put that foot back down. And then we're going to do the opposite of the Barbie foot, which is to take the top of the foot, and this is where it's nice to have your shoe or your sock, and just kind of press the top of your foot into the floor. So if you need to see what that looks like back there, so it's like that. So we're stretching through the front of the foot that way. So that's on the right side. And don't press as hard this way as you did pressing into your foot with the toes in extension. If you press more into the little toe side, you'll feel the stretch more here in the outer part of your leg. If you press into the big toe side, you'll feel it more right down the center of your leg. And relax that. And then let's do the opposite of Barbie foot on the other side. So now we've got the left foot kind of top of the foot getting a good stretch. So the front of the leg, right in through here, this is, anybody remember what that bone is? Tibia, yes. So your tibia, you've got you've got a couple of muscles, but you got one in particular there that runs down the tibia to the big toe. And if that muscle is not strong enough, let's go to the outside edge a little bit more, you'll feel that, and then the inside edge. If that muscle's not strong enough, we get something called a toe drop or foot drop. So when you go to walk forward, and then you can release that. So normally when we walk forward, the muscle here in the front of the shin lifts the big toe, lifts all the toes, but lifts the big toe. So when I walk forward, I'm not dragging my toe. If that isn't working properly, I can drag the toe, right? And that could lead to a fall or a step. It could lead to a sprained ankle. So we don't want to do that. So strengthening the muscle here in the front of that tibia is very important. One of the ways to do that is to extend your leg, right? And you're going to bring your toenails toward your shin, right? And then you're going to point your foot. And you're going to go very slowly, like this. There was an exercise, I learned this a long time ago, before we had all kinds of equipment to do different things, but I always loved this. To strengthen the muscle here in the front of your shin, you can sit up on a stool or a seat where your foot doesn't touch the ground. Get a plastic grocery bag and put a can of, I don't know, peas or something in it, right? So a couple cans of peas. Put the bag around your foot and then go up and down with it. So you're actually lifting weight. That's a little weight lifting for that tibialis muscle there in the front. Now they have tibialis bars where you can do that kind of work. Some of you have taken Steve's classes. He does a lot of tib work, right? Yeah. Okay. And then let's go the other side. So same thing. Yeah, so it's a balance, right? It's a balance. Good. All right, and then back down. Let's do this. Let's take the right leg and cross it over the left. And then walk your your left leg, rather, over to the right. Your left foot over to the right. Whew, that was hard for me to say. Okay, so we got that left foot on the floor, and you're sitting up nice and tall, right? And now you're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, and you're just going to give a little twist of your body out to the right. Now this twist, unlike what we were doing for the neck and shoulders, this twist is coming right down into your low back. And you don't want to push too hard. This should not be painful at all. Just go to your range that's comfortable. And then you're going to come back and go all the way to the other side, right? So we're just going to go back and forth, breathing in and breathing out. Don't go quickly. So I see some folks turning really quickly. This is a very slow movement, and you're just gradually moving your torso from left to right. So we're getting some movement in through the low back, in through the waist, through the sides of the body. Good. Excellent. And one more time over to the right. And then back to center. Good. Let's uncross, and we're going to recross the other way. So now you're going to walk your right foot over to the left a little bit here. So it's a little off center from your knees. Take your right hand to the outside of your left leg, and you're going to gently twist to the left. And I didn't say tall spine, but I should have, so sorry about that. Come back to center. Now if you're kind of like this, I'm going to ask you to sit up really tall, because it's important that we have the spine muscles engaged as we do this turning from side to side. So you're breathing in and breathing out, and you're making this nice slow movement. This is another great one to do before you get out of bed in the morning, right? So if you do all the exercises I tell you about before you get out of bed, it'll be noon by the time you have breakfast. Yeah, it'll be, oh, it's time to go back to sleep. Oh my gosh. So many things can be done at varying times during the day. I'd have to find some different times and then come back to center and kind of uncross and bring your feet back down directly under you. So again, you can do that in bed, but you can also do that sitting in the kitchen, right? So if you're sitting in the kitchen before your meal, or if you're sitting there doing something at the kitchen table, try that, because the most important thing is to keep moving throughout the day. Right? So I have a lot of people say to me, oh, but I do this, I get on my bike and I do I ride my bike for half hour every morning, or I go out for a walk every morning. But what are you doing the rest of the day? Do you do your half hour of prescribed exercise and then you sit? Or, you don't move very much? I would say throw out the exercise altogether. Forget it. Just keep moving. Right? Take little movement snacks throughout the day, right? So instead of doing a half hour here, spend 5 minutes and walk around your house. If you live in one of those, I love now that people are living in some of these community buildings where you're got inside stairs, 3 floors. Take a couple of laps up and down the stairs, right? Do that throughout the day. Oh, I'm going to take a 10-minute break and I'm going to walk all the way down and I'm going to walk all the way back up, right? It's not going to kill you, one route, as opposed to doing it 10 times, but you could do that 4 or 5 times during the day and you actually are gaining a lot more. If you need to, bring groceries in, instead of loading up so that you only have to make 1 trip, make the extra trips. It's better for you to actually make the extra trips, right? And I know a lot of people, you park far away and you do that kind of thing. But this is the nice thing about technology too. You can set a little timer on your watch or on your phone. So every 30 minutes, it just kind of buzzes you time to stand, right? Because what happens is we forget. We get very busy with what we're doing and we forget that we have some other movement that we should get. So think about movement, again, instead of sitting down for a big meal, right? So I'm going to get my big meal of 30 minutes of movement. I'm going to snack all day. I'm going to have little movement snacks all day. Yeah, right? We all love snacking, right? Who doesn't love a good snack? All right. So let's get comfortable then. So if you want to stay where you are here, that's fine. If you want to lean back into your chair a little bit here, we're just going to do a little closing meditation. So, oh goodness. So once you're comfortable with your eyes closed, relaxing your body, take in a few breaths and notice all the work you did in your arms and shoulders, and we did all of that kind of at the beginning. That was some hard work that we did, some hard movements for the arms, the shoulders, the upper back, the chest, in places that we don't often move. And then all the movement we did in the toes and the feet, again, kind of places we don't get a lot of, I'm going to say, natural movement, or, throughout it is natural, but it's not normal for us, right? So if we're in shoes all the time, we don't normally move our toes, our big toes up and our little toes down and all of that fun kind of stuff. So these are all movements that we don't get enough of. Those are great movement snacks, by the way. And you can do that anywhere, anytime. Just kick your shoe off and do it. If you're sitting, just do that movement. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice how your body feels right now. Notice how your breath is moving in and out. That inflation and deflation. Where do you feel that you're expanding? Where do you feel that you're contracting? And can you deepen your breath a little bit? Can you make the inhale a little bit longer? Can you make the exhale a little bit longer? And can you relax into the movement that your breath creates? In other words, if you're someone who tends to bring the shoulders up to the ears, and a lot of us do, and we're not even conscious of it, can you relax those shoulders and let the breath actually create so much movement in your chest that the shoulders gently rise and fall? And take in a nice deep breath, let it out with a sigh. And then if you want, you can take your hands together, just take a moment in gratitude to yourself, to your body for all it's able to do and all it has the potential to do. Let's not forget that. We think about able and unable, but unable is just another way of saying opportunity. Let your eyes open and maybe just say hello to all these amazing people here. Great. Good, good. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all next week. All right, you're welcome.